Hey guys, Stefan Fischer here from AllOffroad. I hope you guys are well. Before anything else, please stick around to the end. I'm going to play you a recording of Paul Tomolowicz, the owner of Deep Cycle Systems, in his own words, and I think it says it all. So I have good news. The DCS case is done. This Friday, again a day after the deadline, DCS paid everything the court ordered. The court ruled in my favor over a year ago. Winning in court, though, doesn't mean the money shows up the next day. What followed was nearly 12 months of DCS ignoring the orders, forcing more legal action and refusing every reasonable exit I offered them. Right after the ruling, I offered a settlement. They could have walked away for roughly half of what they ultimately paid, but they said no. In doing so, they nearly doubled their own cost. When the cost order was finally issued, they still didn't pay. So we filed a wind-up application in the federal court that would have been the end of DCS as a company. A hearing was scheduled for next month. Only then did they pay. That's Paul from DCS, consistently picking the most expensive option right to the end. One more thing on record. When DCS paid the cost order, I'd already been forced to file the wind-up application, which added further legal cost that DCS is liable for. At the same time as sending payment, Paul Tomolowicz sent a message to my lawyer refusing those additional costs and stating, quoting directly, "I will be on his doorstep first thing in the morning." That meant my doorstep. My lawyers responded immediately, told him not to come near me, and advised that if he did, police would be called and an AVO applied for. I'm not saying this to inflame anyone. I'm saying it because if anything ever happens, there's a record. I spent years working as a bodyguard and doorman. I've practiced martial arts for over 40 years and spent more than 20 years teaching self-defense. I don't see conflict, but trust me, I can protect my family and myself if it comes to that. Now it seems to be done, and a lot of people were part of this. They deserve to hear it from me directly. When it started, I was on my own. A lawsuit that could have cost over $500,000 for something I knew I hadn't done wrong. First thing I did was taking everything to a legal team. The evidence, the communication, everything Paul had said to me over the years. Their assessment, very solid defense on multiple grounds. But it would be costly and long, and costs had to be paid up front. That's how it works in Australia. Look, if I'd done something wrong, exaggerated, fabricated, been malicious, I would have settled and moved on. But everything in my videos and on Facebook came from my own experience or from people who contacted me with the same issues. I have evidence for all of it. The funny thing is, at the time DCS sued me, those specific videos were already online for many months and had around 39,000 views together. If DCS stayed quiet, that would have been the end of it. However, once it was clear DCS wasn't going to back down and I wasn't going to roll over, I had a decision to make. I sat on it for weeks and eventually decided in going public. That's when everything changed. DCS and a distributor in the USA called what happened an influencer cartel, a coordinated campaign against them. Let me tell you, there was no cartel, no coordination, nothing orchestrated. DCS started this lawsuit, I didn't. When something like this, though, hits social media, nobody controls it. What became obvious quickly is that these resonated far beyond anyone who bought a DCS battery. Creators worldwide picked it up because the principle affects every one of them. If a company with deep enough pockets can use a lawsuit to shut down an honest review, whether they have a case or not, that is a terrible precedent for anyone who puts an opinion on camera. That's what spread these globally. Not a cartel, a principle. And the brutal irony, if DCS hadn't pushed the lawsuit, my original videos would be long forgotten. They built the monster themselves. Interestingly, some high-profile Australian content creators, particularly in the four-wheel drive space, went completely silent on this. That surprised me because it affected every one of them who does real product reviews. If an honest review can be shut down, which what I would call a slap lawsuit, filed not to win, but to silence, that's a terrible precedent for the whole industry. But there were exceptions, and I've never met most of these people beforehand or even now. Louis Rossmann covered this case 7 times. John Cadogan at Auto Expert TV, 4 times. Dave Jones at EEV Blog, Will Prowse at DIY Solar Power, Linus Tech Tips, Carl Jobst, Aussie Overland, Lock Your Hubs, Australian 4x4 Adventures, NASTime Adventures, Defender Mods and Travel, The Den of Tools, The Musing Gregs, Liquid Audio, Skunky Designs, Off Tracks 4x4, Drew Stevenson, Keith Jobson, Phil's Camping Reviews, and Robert Pepper, who wrote detailed articles on the case. I probably missed a few channels. More than 20 channels and publications worldwide, most of them people I'd never spoken to in my life, who decided it was worth talking about. I can't overstate how much that meant to me, and I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. What DCS created and what my lawyers warned them about in the very first letter we sent is the Streisand Effect. The attempt to suppress something amplifies it beyond anything it would have reached on its own. My original videos had 39,000 views when DCS sued me. By the time this was over, conservative estimates based on YouTube metrics, articles, forums, Reddit and fundraising engagements put total exposure at between 3.5 and 7 million people worldwide. That's a Streisand effect. A word on what I learned about the law, because it matters for every content creator. In Australia, anyone can sue you here. Doesn't matter how factual your content is, how solid your evidence, how clearly you stayed within the truth. If someone has enough money, they can file a claim and you have to defend it. That's a reality. What has changed over the years though? Corporations now face restrictions on whether they can even bring a defamation action. Under the Defamation Act, a corporation can only sue if it qualifies as an excluded corporation. Fewer than 10 employees, and that may include part-time and contractors at the time of publication, and not associated with other corporations under the same director. Both conditions must be satisfied. However, here's the part that should concern you. There is no legal obligation on the plaintiff's lawyers to verify those conditions before filing. None. They lodged a claim and it's up to the defendant, me, to raise it and prove it in court. That takes time, it costs money. Eventually, DCS failed that test. The court found they had no right to bring the action, which is remarkable given that DCS had always presented itself to me and in its own public communication as a large international business. Factories, warehouses in Europe and the US, subsidiaries worldwide. And in court, Paul's own evidence contradicted what he told me over the years. He couldn't reconcile his prior claims with what he was arguing from the witness box. A tip: choose your legal team carefully. Not who promises the best outcome, but who has genuine expertise in the specific area. I chose Piquet Cruisers and my barrister was Justin Castellan. They are both expert in defamation law. There is a saying, the only winners in court cases are the lawyers because they get paid regardless. And it is certainly true. But I still can't thank my lawyers enough for how they handled the case. 2,763 people donated to the GoFundMe. Let that sit. Most of them who never bought a DCS battery in their lives, who decided this was worth backing. Donation of $2 and donation of $10,000. Every one of them gave me the resolve to keep going when these felt impossible. I can't explain what that support means when you are fighting something this size, largely on your own. The comment ratio across the whole case was 99.99% positive. And I've made real friends through this. People I've never met who I genuinely consider friends now. That wasn't something I expected and I won't forget it. There are people I wanted to thank who were never public about this, but who mattered. Dozens and dozens of DCS customers contacted me privately with their own battery issues. They corroborated everything in my original videos. Their willingness to share that, often with nothing to gain, gave me evidence I needed and the confidence to hold the line. Some prefer to stay anonymously, but they know who they are and this outcome is as much theirs as mine. People who helped me with research and information and who were just there through 2 years of this. Chris Eade, Steve Richardson, Jens Birken, Jay Halliwell, and Elmar Shah, Managing Director of productreview.com.au, who takes the authenticity of consumer reviews as seriously as anyone I've come across. Thank you for your understanding and what was at stake and your help. To everyone else who reached out, sent information, shared their story, left me positive comments on YouTube, or answered a message late at night when I needed it. I couldn't have done this without you. Something personal before I close. My daughter, now 17, was recently diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma and is in treatment. I'm glad the whole DCS saga is behind us now. Unless DCS forces me to revisit it, this is the last video I make about them. On the donations, I'll be straight. Early on I said everything would go to the Royal Flying Doctors. That was genuine. But as things dragged on for 2 years, I stopped making this promise. I couldn't honestly guarantee it. Also, a lot of you said to keep the money anyway for all the hassle and stress. Some of the larger contributors structured theirs as a loan so I could repay them if I won. The money from DCS goes first to repaying those loans. After that, a sizable donation goes to the Royal Flying Doctors. But it'll take some time. Right now, my daughter is the priority and DCS consumed way too much of my headspace. But it will happen, trust me. In saying that, 2 years of stress and hundreds of hours of personal time, no amount of money recovers that. But we won, and we won the right way. And I say it again, I thank everyone from the bottom of my heart. To finish off, something from July 2023. A voice message from Paul Tomolowicz after the third and my last set of DCS batteries again showed a massive degradation in capacity after only 18 months of use under the bonnet, and that was under COVID times.
Yeah, fair enough. So typically, if a battery pack itself loses more than 20% capacity in the first 12 months, that's a cell grading issue. So that's got defective cells. And we actually are contracted to return those to our cell supplier. And part of the contract is once they're returned, we get compensated, which is usually just a discount on the next order. So that's just the battery business. So, if you go prior to lithium and you think about lead acid battery market, and you're basically taking a risk with cell grading, right? So you get good batches, you get average batches, you get excellent batches. Every single batch is unique. And they scrap them and they last 6 months, and then you get a good one that will last 2 years. That's the battery business in general. But now with lithium batteries, we've got 2 very difficult games now. Not only do we play, Russian roulette with battery cells, you are then trying to stabilize electronics. So you've got 2 factors in the system. So lithium batteries are way more complex to get right. And this is the nature of the beast. And it is very complicated and it is very tricky. So, that's why there's no big global companies doing what we're doing yet. But this is kind of where we're heading with what we're doing. So that's that's the battery business 101 anyway. So we always deal with that stuff. But your battery cells, I just checked with the factory, that batch of cells was scrapped. So we've already been compensated. That went back in November of 2022. So if you tested it earlier and we found out, you would have already got a new pair anyway.
I cut the message short here because he is waffling on for quite a bit longer. However, I think you get the gist. So, I think that speaks of itself. Thank you very much again for all of your support, and I hope to see you along the tracks.